one of the hardest things in the world to do is to start a business and keep the business alive, because part of you dies in the process. It's good to be busy, and I have to keep telling myself that it's good to be busy, but it is relentless, and I think that's like what some people don't understand is they think, you know, certain business owners are just sat in their ivory tower in their office just dishing out the orders or dealing with the customers, but you know, in the small medium businesses, you know, the business owners are hands-on. They're in the trenches a lot of the time, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. They just think, you know, oh, it's all right, they're just counting the money. Well, you're not counting the money, you're just trying to can you get through the week? Business doesn't sleep, so there's always something to be doing, whether it's payroll, whether it's marketing, paying suppliers, all sorts of stuff. That's the harshness. Is, you know, 7 days a week is normal for me. People think that, you know, just because we've got a couple of vans now and we've got an office and we're growing and it's sheer will and effort that's getting us there. We've got a good team and we've got good clients and stuff like that, but it's sheer will, because most people can't do it. You know, you can play the business game 24 hours a day because it don't sleep, and I think that's where obviously you have to be careful. And someone like me who's obviously I was a recovering gambler, which I was prone to when I was gambling. I gambled to excess. I have to watch myself because it's quite easy. You could become obsessive about business and just work. Because there's all different ways of working, whether it's physical, hand-on, marketing, all the different stuff that you have to do in the business. You know, when you mention, you know, like Cheltenham Town and like Creed Food Service is another one that we've done. You know, that's coming up to like 2.5 years now that we've been doing Creed. So Creed Food Service and Cheltenham Town, people know those names, and it's good for our credibility as a business as well, because they know, you know, they're big companies, and obviously like a football club, it's got to be cleaned properly. You know, you've got professional footballers, you know, in the environment at the training ground and at the stadium on match days. It's got to be right. We're just gonna go to first business really, which is on Neptune Business Centre off Tewkesbury Road in Cheltenham. I started that business in April 2010, so yeah, 13 years ago now. Funny, because sometimes it doesn't feel like it's been that long, and then other times it feels like the only thing you've ever done is running your own business. I think it's just probably because, you know, some days are just so long and it's just, they all mount up and it just feels like you've always been doing it. Yeah, so my first business, number 3 Neptune Business Centre, now Pirate Studios, which I just speaking to our brother about, and obviously he does sessions here with his band. So it's just funny really that obviously my old place, that I was here just over a year. So that was the mad thing. It was, you know, when I look back now, it was insane that I did it. I think the key to it was a real savvy guy, like the commercial letting agent that showed me round. So I was looking all around. I thought, yeah, it's a big work area and everything. But he took me upstairs, and I looked out across the estate, and all I thought was like, yeah, you know, there's customers there, there's people here, I can get them to come in here for their servicing. And he was quite clever with what he did, because he took me up there and I could see like this half of the estate, and it was like, yeah, I can make this work. And I think because I was sort of that mindset, I was only still like not young in my, yeah, I was still pretty young in my recovery at that point from gambling, that I was still a bit more, reality was still a little bit warped. I just thought, yeah, I can do it. But I remember now it was about 5,000 square foot, the building. So it's from like the edge of the Muriel, it's even further than that. I think it goes to like that section there, and it's all the way across. You've got a great big, well, what I used is the workshop area here, and we had like 3-4 ramps in there at one point. It was just far too big. You know, first business, massive thing like this, like electric, water, rent. Well, I was quite good. I got fairly decent rent terms at the beginning, like periods of no rent. But you know, it was just a disaster waiting to happen. And I was also trying to get somebody to come into the business with me, so like a mechanic. So I do like the customer facing bit and do the marketing, the branding bit of it, and they would then head up and look after the warehouse, the workshop side of it. But just couldn't get anyone over the line to do it. And it was, I think, if I would have just scaled it down and done something like a third of the size, but then only literally do it if I did have that situation where like a mechanic was to come on board and it was like a 50-50 partnership, it probably would have worked. But you know, sometimes you learn by completely making a hash of it. And you know, and unfortunately, you know, it played out, you know, having to wind the company up. Like, started it in April 2010, had to wind it up July 2011, and that's shit, you know, when you have to liquidate a business, go through that process, you know, being in here, seeing the ramps pull, you know, I had to come back in right near the end to see them pull the ramps up, and that fucked me up for a while, because it's your baby, you've been growing it for over, like, you know, well, you've certainly in your thoughts, you've been thinking about it for like 2 years or so, and then you've got the year and a bit of running the business, and then you're having, like, you see the ramps, your company coming in to take the ramps away, which are on lease, and they're fucking taking all that stuff out. You know, you don't want to even be in the place at that point. The business has ended, and it's just hardcore, and it's just like a reminder of, you know, this is business. It's, you know, everything's equal, but it's tough. This bit here behind where this section was, that used to be where my desk was. Used to have like a big TV on the wall here showing like a branded video we did, and then all of this was just all open workshop. But obviously they've chopped it into all the different studios now, so you can just have a quick walk round. You might get fucking thrown out, but you can tell it's a big space. You can imagine all this being open, but that's what it was. But yeah, it's insane, really. You know, for a first business to try and do something this big, I just wanted to fast forward it to the end. This is mad. I've not been in here for years. Yeah, nice rules now, but yeah, this used to just be the upstairs office that then used to look out on the whole estate. But yeah, not been back in here probably. Well, I think I popped in here once. There was another sort of company in here after I'd been in here, but I've not been back in here for like probably 11-12 years. It's a bit surreal. But yeah, you just get a sense of crazy, really. You know, so that's why I ever say to someone now, if anyone's starting a business now, I just say, you just got to be really careful what you do with your overheads. You know, if you think you need an office, do you really need an office? Because you got to pay for that thing. And it was, you know, but can't look backwards too much. You just got to try and learn the lessons. Don't take it personal. But you know, when you end up going through company liquidation, and then as the director, you're then responsible for assets, you know, over 100 grand it was at the time I got wound it up for. I can't pay that, you know, I had to go bankrupt, which is a nightmare. People think that bankruptcy is just like a, you know, a clean slate and you're okay, but it's not, because your credit's fucked and you can't borrow anything for, I don't think it was either a year or almost 2 years. I couldn't borrow anything, nothing. Need a cleaning company, that's what they need. You know, from a personal perspective afterwards, you know, you just feel like a bit of a failure, to be honest. It's, you know, you go into it with all the bluster and, you know, thinking, you know, we're going to get there, work hard, keep building stuff, you know, you're going around posting flyers everywhere, you know, then the thing just ends, you know, it stops. And it was like, it's like a period of grief, really. When you do your first couple of businesses, your head's just not in reality. You think you're gonna just hit the ground running, but you know, no one gives a shit that you've opened a garage or whatever you're doing. They just don't care. It's obviously your job as a business owner to get the word out, and it just takes so long. People don't. The reality is, sort of starting a business and making it profitable probably takes about 5-6 times longer than what you think it's going to take. I couldn't accept that I'd failed. I think that actually is the reason why I did it again, sort of twice afterwards. I just couldn't accept that I'd failed. The thing I like about business is, you know, if you're not good enough, you're not going to win. So if you put the work in and you keep hustling at it, and you know, you do the right things, you know, you stand by your word and stuff like that with people, you tend to win. But yeah, we're just heading to a place where I had my car garage number 3. I wasn't in there that long, I don't think. I think, blimey, it's probably 2010, probably 2012, 2013 I was probably in there. But yeah, it's, I think I had to get out of my system, so yeah, I think it's still the same people that took over from me. I come here, King Street, after being at Bentham. Obviously, you got the opportunity. I can't remember how I heard about the space here, but obviously it's a lot better than where I was. That was just like a stopgap. So yeah, got speaking to the landlord. He was like really helpful because it was a bit scruffy in there in the offices and stuff. So sorted that out. And I just thought I'd try to use the old database that I had. Contacted everybody, say we're moving, and then just done sort of nicer areas from around here to try and attract people for like servicing and repairs and stuff. And yeah, I think I wasn't in here that long. I think between 6 and 9 months, I think. I wasn't in there that long. But I think I got it out of my system then. After I did that, I had no desire to try and do like cars again. And then after that, I then did, so what was the original Unique Media Group was a digital magazine. So basically was, we put it online, we created a magazine, had video content in it, and that was the key. And it was, even at that time, wanted to do films. I knew at that stage I wanted to utilise and do more about films down the road, of doing that and getting into producing films. But we wanted to have like a magazine that we could basically, you could update the content straight away. So it was like a live thing, not like a printed magazine that as soon as you printed it, obviously it's then historical. But we wanted something that could be live. But it was the major arsehole with it is that you're doing all this, like the selling part of it for the advertising, and was also doing like a lot of the content. Even though I had several people that were doing like certain columns, like somebody would do a sports thing, somebody else was doing like a beauty thing, someone else was doing what else did we have in there? Oh, music. And we'd have all these different people that would do certain gigs or reviews or interviews. I was, quite fortunate. We got to manage some good people like Raymond Blanc, and met like Eddie the Eagle Edwards. So there was some really cool things. I did like a phone interview with Chris Eubank. It went on for 2 hours. It was just a bit surreal. So we did some really good things with the magazine, and again, it was probably one of those things with the magazine as it was. I should have wrapped it up probably 3 years before I did. So that got persevered with for about 5 years. Periods of like Christmas work at Royal Mail in Bristol. I did that for about 6-7 weeks. The night time. I worked at a lift and access place as a business development manager, and I did that for about 3 months. Absolute nightmare. It was so technical, the job. It was like you'd had to have been like a technician to really understand it. But I sort of longed it out, got a few quid for that. I was doing cleaning jobs as well at the same time as when I should have been working for them. Yeah, I shouldn't have done it, but I did. And then I moved back to Cheltenham, and I got a job at 131 in Cheltenham, which was a night job. So I was a night porter for 4 days of the week, so like 4 night shifts of the week, and then obviously three shifts off. So what I did was I done that, and then in the daytime I would then do end of tenancy cleaning and deep cleans, on my days off, and straight after doing a night shift. So as it was quite insane. So in the summertime I'd literally be doing I think I had either 2 or 3 days in a row I worked the night shift and then gone straight out and done a job. And these are like most of the deep cleans and end of tenancy cleans, you're doing it all day, so you ain't finishing till 4 o'clock. And at that period as well, the early days, I was doing it all on my own. I used to do like 4-bedroom houses on my own. It was mad. It'd just be like just running around the house doing it, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had to learn sometimes by getting it wrong, and then when I'd get other casual cleaners in, I'd pick things up from them. Obviously you can research online and stuff like that, but the real world experience is where you learn. Yeah, so this is our new unique HQ. It's Normandy House, just off the High Street in Cheltenham. So we literally moved in like mid-May. So yeah, we're just getting everything sort of kitted out in the offices. It's just like a really good location. We've got quite a lot of clients in and around the town centre. So obviously the cleaners can come to the office as well if they need stock. Yeah, it's just really good location. Might have started. Wow. Adrian. Hi babe, what's he doing?
He's just...
So yeah, another busy day. Started off at Westgate Services, cleaning the fuel forecourt and things there. So that was, I had to get up at 4 o'clock this morning to do that. Then off to one of our regular contracts, which is an accident repair centre in Cheltenham. So did that, and then ended up going to the barn. Again, we do a lot of cleaning for the barn, the post-wedding cleans, and was there from about 8 to about 11. Yeah, so pretty hectic. And always first things in the morning, always mad busy, sort of. And half the problem is you're racing around from one client to the next. The thing is, it's just like sometimes, obviously we've got the office, but it's just nice when you get downtime, you're at home, you're around the family, even if I've got to do work, like at least I can interact with Blue and Marva. And then other times, it's if I really need to focus, I can go into the office, so it's good to have both. Grizzling today. But yeah, it's just that's the thing, is that when you've got a small business, and like some people don't quite get this, it's like a lot of the owners are doing the work as well as managing, they're supervising, they're getting new business, they're getting doing bits of marketing, and then they got to do all the admin, and then because obviously if you ain't getting paid, what's the point doing the work? And then you just got to do all. There's just so many different things that you got to do as a business owner, and then you got to stop sometimes and look and think, am I going in the right direction? I could be doing all these things, but are we going in the direction that we want to go? It's really difficult, and it's a challenge. And then you've got, you get issues as well, and then you've got to deal with those issues. It's good to be busy. It's really good, but you have to be careful, because I've never been one to take on work and then let people down and not turn up. We've never not turned up for anything ever. In 6 years, we've always turned up for every job. I knew probably a couple of years ago that I wanted to relaunch the film company. So I'd sort of started talking to Chris then. At that point, Chris was working full time, and it was like, he'd obviously seen that the cleaning company was starting to grow, but obviously concerned that he didn't want to join something and it not work out. I think I was sort of chasing Chris for about a year, just saying, come on man, we got to do this.
So about 2 years ago, Steve gave me a call under the guise of talking about something completely different. And then by the end of the call, he kind of said to me, look, there was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. I'm setting up a Unique Media Group again, and he really wanted me to come on to be the art director. Now, at first I was really flattered, but at the same time I had these reservations, because I was like, well, I've never worked with Steve before. They always kind of warn against working with family, especially brothers, I imagine. And I said I kind of needed a little bit of time to think about it. But the reality was, he wasn't just talking about having somebody come over to work on the cleaning videos and stuff like that. He had this vision that meant working in sports, working in music, making documentaries and short films, and eventually working towards having, a full-length feature film. And so we went back and forth on it a little bit, but I think even at the very early stages, I kind of said to myself, you know what, like, I think this is going to be the right move. So with this version of Unique Media Group, me and Steve really wanted to take all of our passions in film and combine them into our future projects. So we had Steve's natural love of boxing, which meant that we worked with exciting fighters coming over from Africa, fighting out of Bristol, and just trying to make a career for themselves. I had a history of music, so I was finding artists that were exciting to me. So like working with J. Do Hart, working with High Viz, bands that were on their way up, and they're just doing like amazing, exciting things now. And I think we wanted that approach to go across everything. So we wanted to be choosing documentaries that meant something. We wanted to be choosing film projects that we knew would have like a timely place in the world that we're living in right now. And I think we're just trying to carry that through to all of our future projects. So if we're thinking as far as feature films, that we know we want it to have like a moral centre, we know we want it to say a little bit about ourselves as well. So Steve has worked so hard to build his company to where it is now. I've never seen somebody work the hours he does, put the effort he does in, and it's all from a point of providing for his family, including me as his brother. He's building a company that's giving us both security, that's giving us both like focus on the future, and it just means that the future for Unique Media Group is one that I'm genuinely excited by.
You know, I think there's, you know, we got a lot of opportunities with, you know, how we want to grow the business and where we want to get it to. You know, it's not easy, but you know, we didn't sign up for easy. We signed up for doing, you know, great motion films. That's what we want to get to, and it's, you know, having the vision that, you know, our films are going to be shown in cinemas across the world. That's the vision. That's where we want to get it to. Whether that takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you know, that's where we want to get to. Chris and I sort of decided that we were going to focus on really drilling down into the music side of things and sports as well. So, you know, we've done like 2 concerts already. You know, we've filmed High Vis and J.Do. Hart, and you know, they've gone really well. And then we've done, from the sports perspective, we've done 2 boxing videos. I'm looking forward to doing the business awards for Circle to Success. So that's really going to sort of showcase what we can do for businesses. But it's also, you know, doing these documentaries on like really interesting subjects like Toast and Elizabeth. You know, for me, you know, I love doing those things. They're great. You know, I may not be the creative person doing the camera work and the editing and that side of it, but you know, we're both involved in it, and you know, in the process, and talking through how we want it to look and what we're trying to get it, the message we're trying to get across, and not just that sort of the underlying message, like with Toast and Elizabeth, is how they, you know, moved away from Nigeria to get to the UK, to, you know, to fight out of there and escape the poverty that they were in. You know, for me, you know, that's a really good story, and it's getting more stories like that we can bring to the public. Obviously, since meeting my wife, who's from St Lucia, it's like, you know, there's a few places that are like where I zone out and stuff, and like one of them simpler is like the gym, where I just like the steam room and swimming and stuff like that. But the next level of that is when we go to St Lucia. We make a habit of going there every year, but we go for a few months, and it's just, you know, you can't completely switch off, because you know, you need certain things, business decisions that you're needed for, but I get good moments of where I'm just on the beach and I'm chilling out, or going down near like the fisheries and stuff in Dennery and St Lucia, and I'm just chilling down there, having a few beers and just relaxing. But you know, for me, I love it. It's just, that's the place where I switch off, is when I go to the beach and stuff.